Hi everyone, this is Teacher CHARIZ, and for today we will be discussing Mathematics 10, Quarter 1, Week number 6. For our topic, we have division of polynomials, and for the learning competency, the learner performs division of polynomials using long division and synthetic division. Your first activity is given, so you have to answer this on a separate sheet, and also you have to answer the following guide questions. This activity will allow you to review your lesson on the concept of polynomial expressions. Now, let us proceed with the definition of polynomial expression. Accordingly, polynomial expression, which is read as p of x, is an expression of the standard form a sub n x raised to n plus a sub n minus 1 times x raised to n minus 1 plus a sub n minus 2 times x raised to n minus 2 plus until a sub 1 x plus a sub 0, where a sub n should not be equal to 0, where the non-negative integer n is called the degree of the polynomial, and coefficients a sub 0, a sub 1 until a sub n are all real numbers. Let us have the example. So below is an example of a polynomial expression written in standard form. So in the polynomial at the right, as you can see this, okay, we have 5x raised to 4 minus 3x raised to 3 plus 5x squared minus 2. The exponents are 4, 3, and 2. The constant of the polynomial is negative 2. So take note that the constant is the term in the algebraic expression that is without a variable. Thus, it only contains a number. Okay, so the three examples below are not polynomial expressions. So let us figure out when can we say that the given is not a polynomial expression. Number 1, 5xy raised to negative 6 is not polynomial because the exponent is negative 6. So basically, in general, if the exponent is negative, automatically it cannot be considered as polynomial expression. Number 2, 8 over x minus 2 is not a polynomial expression because dividing by a variable is not allowed. And number 3, square root of x is not a polynomial because the exponent is 1/2. So in this item, if the given has an exponent which is a fraction, then it is not considered as polynomial expression. So take note of the three conditions. Now, how do we divide polynomials? Let us recall the division of integers. So this was taught to you, I think, in grade 7. So you have to review the concept on division of integers. This concept will help you better understand the process on dividing polynomials. Take note that if it is in fraction form, okay, the numerator becomes our dividend and the denominator becomes our divisor. So we can also write it in the form of 4, wherein it is our quotient, plus 1 over 5, where the numerator is the remainder and the denominator is the divisor. Or we can write it as 21, which is the dividend, equals to 4 quotient times 5, the divisor, plus 1, which is the remainder. Okay, so in our competency, it was mentioned that you are going to divide polynomial using two methods. The first one is the long division method, and the second one is the synthetic division. In the learning competency, you were asked to divide polynomials using two methods. The first one is using the long division method, and the second one is the synthetic division. So we will start with long division method. This method used in dividing polynomials is similar to the procedure when dividing whole numbers. So the division algorithm of polynomials. So it is written here that if p of x and d of x, okay, our p of x is the dividend and the d of x is our divisor, are polynomials, and d of x is not equal to 0, then there are unique polynomials q of x and r of x such that P of x divided by D of x is equal to Q of x plus R of x divided by D of x. Or P of x is equal to D of x times Q of x plus R of x, where R of x is either 0 or degree less than of D of x. So for us to understand more about this algorithm, let us proceed with an illustrative example. So this time, let us divide 2x squared plus 5x minus 23 by x plus 5. So take note that we have two given, the dividend and the divisor. So our dividend will be 2x squared plus 5x minus 23. And our divisor is x plus 5. So this will be our P of x and this is our D of x. So for the process, let us have step 1. Write the polynomial in standard form and insert zeros as coefficient of any missing term. So when we say standard form, we have to arrange the terms in the expression such that it is from the highest degree to the lowest degree. So since the highest degree here is 2, then it will be followed by 1 and then constant. So as you noticed in the given dividend, it is already written in standard form. So no need to arrange it. And it is complete because we have x squared and then x and then a constant. So it's already complete. So once it's complete, we can write it now in this form. So we have 2x squared plus 5x minus 23 divided by x plus 5. So that is our first step. For our second step, we have to divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor to get the first term of the quotient. So let me write it here again so that we will be able to look at it. Okay. So divide the first term of the dividend, which is 2x squared, by the first term of the divisor, which is x. So if we divide that, take note that 2 divided by 1 is 2. So we are going to write it on top of the first term of the dividend. And then x squared divided by x. So the rule here is to subtract the exponent and then copy the variable. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So the quotient there is 2x. So that is our first step. Okay? So once we are done with that, let's proceed to step 3. For step 3, you are going to multiply the quotient in step 2, which is 2x, by our divisor. So since our divisor is a binomial, x plus 5, so we will distribute 2x to x plus 5. So we'll do it one by one. So 2x times x, okay, will give us, so 2 times 1 is 2, x times x. The rule when you multiply, you just add the exponent. So you copy the variable and then add the exponent. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? And then, next is to multiply 2x to positive 5. So 2x times 5, 2 times 5 is 10. So positive 10x. Okay, so that's step number 3. Let's proceed with step number 4. Subtract the result from step number 3. So once we already have the result, we are going to subtract this one. Okay? So the rule in subtraction is we are going to change the sign of the subtrahend. So our 2x squared, this will become negative. And then our positive 10x, this will be negative 10x. And then proceed to addition. So that is the rule. So once we proceed to addition, we have 2x squared plus negative 2x squared. That becomes 0. So no need to write it there. And then 5x plus negative 10x, that will give us negative 5x. Okay? So after you subtract, step number 5, bring down the next term of the dividend. So take note that after we subtract that, we will now bring down the remaining term, which is negative 23. So we'll just bring it down, okay? Next, step 6. Repeat step 2. What is step 2? You are going to, this will be now our new given. So negative 5, from this one, negative 5, we will divide it to the first term of the divisor. So negative 5x divided by x, okay, we get negative 5. Kasi x divided by x is equal to 1. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. So, negative 5 na lang ang natira. Okay? So, once we are done with that, let's proceed with step number 7. Okay, please follow. So, for step number 7, repeat what we have done earlier. So, once we have here the quotient, negative 5, so we will distribute it to the divisor. So, we'll have it one by one. So, negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And then negative 5 times positive 5 is negative 25. Okay? After that, repeat step number 4, wherein we are going to subtract. The rule in subtraction, change the sign of the subtrahend. So, from negative 5x, this becomes positive. Okay? From negative 25, this becomes positive 25. And then proceed to addition. So, let's start. Negative 5x plus positive 5x is equal to 0. You can cancel that. Negative 23 plus positive 25. So, we have positive 2. Okay, rule of integers. Okay, from that, notice that we do not have any more variable. So, if that's the case, then we are done with the process of long division. This now becomes our remainder. Okay? And we will now be able to identify our quotient, which is written here. So, that is our quotient. So, for step number 9, we are going to express the result as dividend over divisor equal to quotient plus remainder over divisor. So, if we are going to rewrite it, we have the dividend, which is 2x squared plus 5x minus 23 divided by x plus 5 equals to the quotient, which is 2x minus 5 plus the remainder 2 over the divisor x plus 5. Or it can also be written as 2x squared plus 5x minus 23 equals to the quantity of 2x minus 5 times the quantity of x plus 5 plus 2. So, that is now our final answer. So, these two. Okay. So, that is using long division method. So, actually, if you're going to review the process, it is very similar to dividing whole numbers. Take note of this, that in dividing using the long division method, repeat steps 2, 3, and 4 if necessary until you come up with the last, which is the remainder. The remainder could be 0 or any integers. Now we are done with the long division method. It's time to proceed with synthetic division. This method is a shorter procedure when a polynomial is to be divided by a binomial of the form x minus r. We only write the coefficients in this procedure. Let us divide 2x squared plus 5x minus 23 by x plus 5 using synthetic division to show that both procedure will yield with the same answer. So, since the divisor x plus 5 is of the form x minus r, so we can use synthetic division. So, take note of this because this will be a step-by-step process on how to use synthetic division. So, for step number 1, arrange the coefficients of p of x in decreasing powers of x, placing zeros for the missing terms. The first entry of the third row is the leading coefficients of p of x. since there is no missing term in the given dividend, there will be no zero coefficient. So basically, in step number 1, what is being explained here is you need to arrange the given p of x in standard form. Okay, we will only be using the coefficients of each term. So on the right side, you can see here how you're going to write the given using the synthetic division. So you're going to write lines, and then on the right side, you're going to write the coefficients of the dividend. So since this is our dividend, 2x squared plus 5x minus 23, so the coefficients are 2 for x squared, 5 for x, and the last is the constant, which is negative 23. Step number 2. Place the value of r in the upper left corner. Okay, in this example, our divisor is x plus 5. So we have to write it in the form of x minus r for us to be able to determine the value of r. So since we have x plus 5, so if we write it in the form of x minus r, so our r will be equal to negative 5. Why? Because take note that negative times negative is equal to positive. So it will give us x plus 5. So definitely our r is equal to negative 5. So once we have the value of r, we are going to place it on the upper left corner of our solution. So after identifying the numbers that we are going to manipulate, the next step is to start with our solution. Okay, so step number 3. Bring down the leading coefficient to the last row. So our leading coefficient is 2. So what we're going to do is to bring that down. So we write 2 there. Okay, that's the step number 3. Next is, once we already have that, we are going to multiply, okay, multiply r by the first value on the last row. So the first value of the last row is 2. So we will multiply r to 2. So negative 5 times 2 is equal to negative 10. So the product, which is negative 10, will be written below the next coefficient of the dividend. So the next coefficient of the dividend is 5. So ilalagay natin siya sa baba ng 5. So kaya nandyan si negative 10. Okay? Next is, add the column created in step 4 and write the sum in the bottom row. So take note na sa baba ni 5, meron niyang dyang negative 10. Ayan. Let me just complete this. Okay? So what you're going to do, once you have already negative 10 there, so we are going to add that. So 5 plus negative 10, and that will give us negative 5. So we are going to write it below or on the bottom row. So andyan na si negative 5. Okay? Next is, repeat the procedures in steps 4 and 5 until the last number in the third row is obtained. So, we are going to repeat the given step. So, since we already have negative 5 here, so we will multiply r to negative 5. So, negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. So, we are going to write positive 25 on the next row. So, we are going to add negative 23 plus 25, and the result is positive 2. Okay. Now, once you already obtained the last number in the third row, that means that our solution is already done. So, the last entry there is our remainder. So, that becomes our remainder. And then, 2 and negative 5 will be the coefficients of our quotient. So, how are we going to write our answer? So, let's have this here. The concise steps of the procedure are shown below. So, we have the divisor, x plus 5. Okay? And then this will be our, this is the coefficients of our dividend, which is 2x squared plus 5x minus 23. this will be the coefficients of our quotient. So since there are only two numbers, so meaning to say there are only two terms. So negative 5 will be our constant, and then positive 2 is the coefficient of the next term, which is the linear term, so 2x. And then our last column is the last entry is the remainder. So if we are going to look at the given in the first example using long division method and using synthetic division, we have yielded with the same answer, which is 2x minus 5 and the remainder of 2. So notes, the sum in the last column is the remainder when p of x is divided by d of x. The exponent of the leading term is the quotient is always 1 less than the degree of the polynomial. So since the degree of the polynomial is 2, take note that the exponent of the leading term of the quotient is just 1 less than the degree of the polynomial. So since it's x squared, so yung next niya is x. So that is now the exponent of the leading term of the quotient. So we are done with synthetic division. Now let's proceed with another example for you to be able to understand the process of long division and synthetic division with another given. So let us have this. Okay, divide 2x plus x cubed minus 11 by x minus 2. So I will be showing you two methods. Okay, so first things first, we have to identify what is the dividend and the divisor of the given. So 2x plus x cubed minus 11 is our dividend, and x minus 2 is our divisor. So if you recall the process earlier, we have to make sure that both the dividend and the divisor are written in standard form. So upon checking, 2x plus x cubed minus 11 is not written in standard form. So if we are going to write it in standard form, our p of x will be equal to x cubed, okay, and then followed by x squared. So since in the given there is no x squared, so we have to add x squared. However, its coefficient will be equal to 0. So plus 0x squared, followed by x. So we have plus 2x, and then the constant, which is negative 11. So our dividend is now x cubed plus 0x squared plus 2x minus 11. Next is our divisor is x minus 2. Okay, so let us start with our first solution, which is in long division method. So let us write our solution. We have x cubed plus 0x squared plus 2x minus 11 divided by x minus 2. Okay, so following the steps that we have discussed earlier, first is we have to divide the leading term of the dividend to the leading term of the divisor. So we have x cubed divided by x. So x cubed divided by x, the rule is you have to subtract the exponent. So we have x squared. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So x squared. So once we have the quotient, we are going to multiply it to the divisor. So since the divisor is a binomial, so we will be distributing x squared to x and negative 2. So x squared times x is x cubed. Okay. And then x squared times negative 2 is negative 2x squared. After that, we are going to subtract. So when we subtract, the rule is to change the sign of the subtrahend. So from positive x cubed, this becomes negative x cubed. From negative 2x squared, this becomes positive x squared. And then proceed to addition. Okay, let's continue. So we will add now. So x cubed plus negative x cubed is equal to 0. So we'll cancel that out. 0x squared plus positive 2x squared is positive 2x squared. Okay, so after that, we will bring down the remaining terms. So we have plus 2x minus 11. Then, we are going to repeat the process. So, we will divide the first term, which is 2x squared, to the first term of the divisor, which is x. So, 2x squared divided by x is equal to positive 2x. Okay? And then after that, we are going to multiply 2x to the divisor. So, 2x times x is positive 2x squared. And then, 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. Okay? After that, we are going to subtract. Again, rule is to change the sign of the subtrahend. So, positive 2x squared will become negative 2x squared. And then negative 4x becomes positive 4x. And then proceed to addition. So, 2x squared plus negative 2x squared, that is equal to 0. 2x plus positive 4x is 6x. And then we are going to bring down the remaining term, which is negative 11. So, we can still continue. So, repeat the process. So, negative 6 divided by x. So, negative 6x divided by x is equal to positive 6. Okay? Because x divided by x is equal to 1. And 1 times 6 is equal to 6. So, kaya 6 na lang ang naiwan. And then, after that, we are going to multiply 6 to the divisor. So, 6 times x is 6x. And then, 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. And then, proceed to subtraction. Again, following the rule, change the sign of 6x, this becomes negative. Change the sign of negative 12, this becomes positive. And then, proceed to addition. So, 6x plus negative 6x is 0. Negative 11 plus positive 12 is positive 1. So, if you notice that there is no variable, therefore, we can say that this last entry here is our remainder. Okay? And then, our quotient now is this one. So, x squared plus 2x plus 6. Okay. Yan. So, of course, we'd have to double check whether it is the correct answer by using synthetic division. So, we will compare later on if we come up with the same answer. So, for synthetic division, take note that we are only going to use the coefficients of the dividend and the value of r for the divisor. So, we are going to write lines first. Okay, yan. So, on the upper right side, I am going to write all the coefficients of the dividend. So, for x cubed, the coefficient there is 1. For x squared, the coefficient is 0. For x, the coefficient is 2. And for the constant, that is negative 11. And then, on the upper left side, will be the value of r. So, since we have x minus r and our divisor is x minus 2, therefore, our r is equal to positive 2. So, that will be the number that we are going to write there. Okay, once done, let us start with our solution. So, first is you bring down the first entry in the first row. So, 1, just bring down 1. Next is to multiply r to the first entry. So, 2 times 1 is equal to 2. And we are going to write that below the second coefficient, 0. So, once nalagay na natin dyan, we are going to add. So, 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. Repeat the process. Multiply 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Ilalagay natin siya sa baba ni 2. And then, add. 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. Next, multiply r to 6. So, 2 times 6 is equal to positive 12. And then, add. Negative 11 plus 12 is positive 1. And we are done. Of course, the last entry is our remainder. Okay? And, of course, this 3 here will be the coefficients of our quotient. So, the second to the last, which is positive 6, will be our constant, followed by the linear term, and then for the x squared. So, 2x, and then plus x squared. So, if we are going to compare, we came up with the same answer. So, to write our final answer, okay, so we will have now 2x plus x cubed minus 11 over x minus 2, okay, is equal to the quotient, which is x squared plus 2x plus 6 plus the remainder, which is 1, over the divisor, which is x minus 2. Okay, so this is our final answer. Okay. So now you're given examples on how to use synthetic and long division method. It's time for you to answer the following activities and assessment. So of course, you are tasked to answer the SAQ questions. For number 1, we have, would you rather use long division or synthetic division to divide polynomials? Explain why. So you have to choose which among the two you think is easier for you. Is it long division or synthetic division? Next, number 2, when do we use synthetic division? So take note of the condition when synthetic division is allowed in dividing polynomials. So, of course, you have to answer the following activities. Activity number 1, okay, just write your answers on the separate sheet. So just write the letter of your answer. Okay? And then activity number 2, same, you just have to write the letter of your answer. And then of course, the key points that you need to remember. So you have to read that and take note of the important concepts and terms. Okay? And for your assessment 1, you have to identify the polynomial form of the dividend, divisor, and quotient in each item. You just have to write your answer on the given. So, dividend, divisor, and quotient. So, that's 4 items. And then, assessment 2, 5 items. Same. Use either long division or synthetic division if applicable. Now, in this case, I'll be asking you to show your solution. You can either use synthetic or long division. Depende na kung saan kayo mas nadadalian. Okay? And then, of course, after solving that, you're going to write your quotient and remainder. Okay? So, that's 5 items. And for assessment number 3, you are going to choose which among the choices is the correct answer for the following question. So, just write the letter of your choice. Okay. So, that's it for today. I hope you have learned something from our discussion. And I'll see you for our next video tutorial. Bye!